Okay, I'm going to be reading 2Samuel chapter 12, starting at verse 16. It talks about David's child dies. And what made me read it was when I lost my father to cancer. And I began to read about David. And it says, "And the Lord afflicted the child that Uriah's wife bore to David, and he became sick. David therefore sought God on behalf of the child. And David fasted and went and laid all night on the ground. And the elders of his house stood beside him to raise him from the ground. But he would not, nor did he eat food with them. On the seventh day the child died. The servants of David were afraid to tell him that the child was dead, for they said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke to him, and he did not listen to us. How then can we say to him, the child is dead? He may do himself some harm." But when David saw that the servants were whispering together, David understood that the child was dead. And David said to his servants, "Is the child dead?" They said, "He is dead." And David rose from the earth, and washed and anointed himself, and changed his clothes. And he went into the house of the Lord, and worshipped. He then went to his own house. And when he asked, they set food before him, and he ate. Then the servant said to him, "What is this thing that you have done? You fasted and wept for the child while he was alive. But when the child dead, you arose and ate food." He said, "While the child was still alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, Who knows whether the Lord will be gracious to me, that the child may live? But now he is dead. Why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I should go to him, but he will not return to me." All right. So while David baby was sick, David was down. He would lay on the ground. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't wash. He wouldn't do nothing. David was down and out while his baby was sick. Then when David baby had passed, they didn't want to tell David that his baby had passed, because they say, well, while the baby was sick, David was down and out, wouldn't get up, wouldn't wash, wouldn't do nothing. So you can imagine what he would do if we tell him that his baby had passed away. So, but David looked over there and seen them whispering. So David had asked, he said, did the baby die? They was like, "Yes, David, the baby dead." So David got up, washed himself, and went to the house of the Lord and worshiped God. And they couldn't understand. They said, "Well, we don't understand, David. When the baby was alive and sick, you was down and out. Now that we told you the baby had died, now you got yourself up and got yourself together and went to the house of the Lord and worshiped. We don't understand." David said, "One thing for sure, the baby is never coming back here. But if I get myself right, myself together, I can go to the baby." So, and that's the thing with us. We have to get ourselves right, and get ourselves together. Now we have to do better as people, and do positive things and positive toward each other. But that's what I was reading, and I wanted to share that with y'all.